See, you do want to be a dreamer, but you don't want to stop there. Isn't it funny? People tell you have big dreams, but they tell you don't be a dreamer. Yeah, you do want to have big dreams, but being just a dreamer, what that means is that you don't do anything. You just talk about stuff all the time. Like if your daughter comes home and she's dating a guy and she says, "Oh, Dad, he's a dreamer." You go, "Oh, crap, they're going to live in the basement." Right? That's what you think of when you think of dreamer, right? So dreams are a big deal. You need to have a dream, but if you stop there, then you're just a dreamer. Dreams, you need to blow the clouds off the dreams and let them become visions. And visions with work clothes on are called goals. And then you start getting very specific and you ask yourself, what must be true for us to be able to do that? For me to be in that career, for me to lose 30 pounds, for my marriage to be better, for my spiritual walk to be different, my relationship with God to be stronger, what has to be true that's not true now? What has to change? What books do I need to read? Classes do I need to take? Different people do I need to associate with? If you've got a drinking problem and you continue to run around with your drinking buddies, you're going to have a drinking problem. Something needs to change. You become who you hang around with. You talk like them. You read the same books they do. You watch the same movies they do. And you binge watch the same series on Netflix that they do. But if you start running around with a bunch of people who are unbelievably generous, they are careful with their money so that they can be unbelievably generous. They get out of debt and stay out of debt, which makes them in our culture weird. And you start running around with people that are doing that, you're much more likely to do it. That's why we put you in accountability groups in Financial Peace University. It's called positive peer pressure. It helps behavior modification. It's basic stuff, y'all. That's how it works. You become who you hang around with. You know this because you don't let your children run around with people who are misbehaving. If little Johnny down the street smoking weed, you don't want your little kid running around with little Johnny because your kid will be a weed head. You know this. You know that they're going to become who they hang around with. You ever send your kids off when they're 8 years old to play at the neighbors and they come back using words we don't use at our house? It was not accidental. That means that kid or those parents are using those words at that house. What do you mean you're dropping the F-bomb at 8 years old in my house? Well, you want to live? I mean, I can make another one just like you. I'll take you out. You're not going to do that here. Have you ever had that experience with your kids? That's because of who they were running around with. It's simple. You're going to become who you hang around with. Do you know your income will be approximately within 10 to 15% of the average of your closest 10 friends over a 10-year period of time? If you run around with people that say the little man can't get ahead, you're running around with losers. If you run around with people that say, well, people like us can't win. I had a friend of mine that's very wealthy, and he grew up in the hood. That's what he calls it. And he said, Dave, getting out of the hood was a lot easier than getting the hood out of me. The tapes that are played from your childhood, the tapes that are played from the people that supposedly do love you, but that are misguided in your head, that say things like, people like us can't get ahead. Don't you understand? Don't you understand that people from the South are all treated like they're ignorant and live in double wides and walk around with no shoes by a bunch of you Yankees? Don't you understand that people in the South think all you people in New York are rude? And I'm actually friends with all of you, so I'm okay. I actually love New Yorkers because they do speak their mind and they get straight to the point. And they never say bless your heart, which in the South can mean anything. You become who you hang around with. Y'all getting this down? You become who you, if all you hang around with are people that talk politics from your side of the aisle, it's the only talking point and you've not had an original thought in years. And develop your critical thinking skills and get past the idea that Barack Obama or Donald Trump are the savior, because neither one are. And by the way, none of them have ever sent me any money. Everything good that's happened in my life, none of it came out of Washington, D.C. None of it. So, I mean, who are you running around with? Who are you? You running around with people waiting on Washington to fix their life? Are you running around with people that say education's a bad idea? Are you running around with people that say, oh, yeah, student loan debt, no matter what you pay for it, is worth it? Are you running around with people that fill in the blank? You're going to become just like them. A dream does not become a reality through magic, Colin Powell said. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work.